Have you ever looked at someone in their 70s who seems perfectly fine, smiling, laughing, carrying groceries, and had no idea they were in pain every single day? That was me. For years, I smiled through birthdays, family dinners, church gatherings, and neighborhood walks. People would ask, "How are you doing, Rose?" And I'd always say, "Oh, I'm fine." The truth? I wasn't fine. Every morning felt like someone had replaced my joints with rusted hinges. Simple things, buttoning my shirt, opening a jar, getting out of bed, climbing the stairs, became battles I fought silently. And here's what no one tells you about living with arthritis: the pain isn't always the hardest part, it's the loneliness. It's feeling guilty because you have to say no. It's pretending you're okay because you don't want your family to worry. If you've ever felt that way, I want you to know something before we go any further. You are not alone. My name is Rose. I'm 72 years old, and today I'm sharing the story I wish someone had shared with me when my arthritis first began. This isn't medical advice, it's simply my journey, what I learned, what surprised me, what hurt me, and what helped me find hope again. Maybe somewhere in my story, you'll recognize a piece of your own. It all started with my hands, not my knees, not my back, my hands. One winter morning, I reached for my coffee mug and nearly dropped it. My fingers felt stiff, almost frozen. I laughed and blamed the cold weather. I told myself everyone gets a little stiff with age. But weeks turned into months. Soon every morning started the same way. I'd wake up, stretch my fingers, wait several minutes before they would cooperate, and slowly begin my day. I thought it was normal. I ignored it. Looking back now, I wish I had listened to my body sooner, because our bodies whisper before they scream. One thing nobody prepared me for was how unpredictable arthritis can be. Some mornings I woke up feeling almost normal. I thought, maybe it's finally gone. Then the next day, I'd struggle to hold my toothbrush. People who don't live with arthritis often think pain is constant. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes you make plans because you're feeling wonderful, then you wake up the next morning unable to keep those plans. That uncertainty can be heartbreaking, not because people are angry with you, but because you start feeling like you're letting everyone down. The hardest conversation I ever had wasn't with my doctor, it was with myself. I had to admit I couldn't do everything I used to. That hurt. I had always been independent. I raised children, worked for decades, cooked family dinners every Sunday, helped neighbors. Suddenly, opening a pickle jar became a challenge. I remember standing in my kitchen crying over something so small, not because of the jar, because it represented everything I felt I was losing: independence, confidence, identity. One afternoon, my granddaughter asked, "Grandma, why do your hands hurt?" Children ask honest questions. I smiled and said, "They've worked very hard for many years." That answer was true. These hands changed diapers, planted gardens, held my husband's hand through difficult times, cooked thousands of meals, wrapped countless birthday presents. Maybe arthritis wasn't proof my body had failed. Maybe it was proof I'd lived. That thought changed something inside me. People often think pain only affects your body. They don't realize what it does to your mind. When you hurt every day, even a little, you become tired in ways sleep can't fix. Sometimes I canceled plans because I was exhausted. Sometimes I stayed home because I didn't want anyone seeing me struggle. Little by little, my world became smaller, and that's something we rarely talk about. Pain can quietly steal your confidence. It tells you not to go, not to try, not to hope. If you let it, it begins making decisions for you. I almost let that happen. One morning, my daughter stopped by unexpectedly. She looked around my house and asked, "Mom, when was the last time you went for a walk?" I couldn't remember. That scared me. Not because I wasn't walking, because I hadn't noticed I'd stopped living. I had become so focused on avoiding pain that I was avoiding life itself. So I made one small promise, not a huge promise, just one. Every day I would do one thing arthritis didn't want me to do. Some days that meant walking to the mailbox, some days watering flowers, some days calling a friend, some days baking cookies with my grandchildren. Tiny victories, but victories nonetheless. Here's another thing no one tells you: accepting help isn't weakness. For years I refused. "I've got it. I'll manage. I don't need help." Sound familiar? Then one day my grandson carried my groceries inside. I thanked him. He smiled and said, "Grandma, you used to carry me." That sentence stayed with me. There are seasons in life. Sometimes we carry others, sometimes they carry us. Neither season lasts forever, and neither should make us ashamed. I also learned the importance of listening to my body instead of fighting it. There was a time when I believed resting meant giving up. Now I understand the difference. Giving up is losing hope. Rest is preparing for tomorrow. That's a lesson I wish I'd learned decades earlier. People often ask me, "Rose, does arthritis ever go away?" For me, the answer is no. But something else happened. The fear became smaller. The frustration became easier to manage. The sadness didn't disappear, but it stopped controlling every moment. I learned that healing isn't always the absence of pain. Sometimes healing is learning to live fully despite it. One evening, I sat on my porch watching the sunset. My knees hurt, my hands were aching, but the sky was painted in shades of orange and pink. Birds were singing, children were laughing down the street, and I realized something beautiful. Pain had been asking for all of my attention. Life was still quietly asking for some too. That evening, I chose life, not because I felt amazing, because I was still here. If you're caring for someone with arthritis, let me tell you something. Please don't say, "But you looked fine yesterday." Arthritis doesn't always look painful. Sometimes the greatest battles are invisible. Instead, ask, "How can I help today?" Or simply sit with them. Sometimes understanding hurts less than medicine. There were difficult days, days I felt angry, days I wondered why this happened to me, days I envied people who walked without thinking. Those feelings are normal. You don't have to feel guilty for having them. The important thing is not staying there forever. Feel them, then keep moving forward, even if it's one tiny step. I've discovered joy in unexpected places, reading books with a warm blanket, watching birds outside my window, growing herbs in small pots, phone calls with old friends, listening to rain, laughing with my grandchildren. When life changes, joy changes too. But it doesn't disappear. Sometimes it simply becomes quieter. If you're newly living with arthritis, let me tell you what I wish someone had told me. Be patient with yourself. Don't compare today's body with the one you had 20 years ago. Celebrate what you can still do. Ask for help before you're desperate. Listen to your body. Protect your peace. And never believe that pain makes you less valuable, because it doesn't, not even a little. And one of the greatest gifts arthritis gave me, yes, I said gift, was perspective. It taught me to slow down, to notice flowers blooming, to appreciate conversations, to value ordinary mornings, to be grateful for days that felt easier. Before arthritis, I rushed through life. Now I pay attention. Strange, isn't it? Sometimes our greatest teachers arrive wearing the ugliest disguises. If you've watched this far, maybe you're living with arthritis. Maybe someone you love is. Maybe you're simply trying to understand what aging really feels like. Whatever brought you here, thank you for spending this time with me. I hope my story reminded you that pain doesn't define a person. Strength isn't pretending everything is okay. Strength is getting up again. Strength is asking for help. Strength is finding reasons to smile even when life is difficult. And strength is sharing your story because someone else may need to hear it. Before I say goodbye, I want to leave you with one final thought. Every scar, every ache, every wrinkle, every stiff joint tells part of a life that has been lived, a life that has loved, worked, cried, celebrated, lost, learned, and kept going. If your body is changing, remember this. You are so much more than your diagnosis. You are still worthy of love. You are still worthy of joy. You are still worthy of hope. I'm Rose. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, I'd love to hear yours. Share your experience in the comments below. Your words might become the encouragement someone else desperately needs today. Take care of yourself, be kind to your body, and remember, even on painful days, there is still life to be lived.